Right now, your brain knows where you are. Not because it remembers, not because it sees, but because it's constantly calculating space, even when you're not.
Your brain knows where you are, even when you don't. You don't calculate distances, you don't track angles, and yet, you almost always know how to get back. That's your brain running an internal navigation system. Think about it. You park your car in a huge parking lot. You walk away. An hour later, you return, and you just know where it is. You don't replay the route step by step. You don't think left, right, third row. You feel the direction. What's actually happening is that your brain is building a map. Not a visual map, not a memory like a photo, a spatial model. As you move through the world, your brain is constantly tracking distance, direction, boundaries, and landmarks. It does this automatically, silently, without asking for permission, even in places you've never been before. Inside your brain, there are neurons designed specifically for navigation. They don't think in words, they don't think in images, they think in space. Some of them are called place cells. These neurons fire when you're in a specific location. One fires when you're at your desk, another at your front door, another at the cafe down the street. Your brain literally has neurons that say, "You are here." But place cells alone aren't enough. To navigate, your brain needs to know how far you've moved and in which direction. That's where grid cells come in. Grid cells fire in a precise geometric pattern as you move through space, not randomly, not roughly, perfectly spaced. They form an internal coordinate system that lets your brain calculate movement without external reference points. This is how you can walk through darkness and still know where you are. Then there are border cells. These neurons activate near walls, edges, and boundaries. They define where space ends. They keep your internal map grounded in reality so it doesn't drift or collapse. Together, these systems create something remarkable. Your brain doesn't store directions, it stores relationships in space. That's why you can recognize a place from a new angle. That's why you can take shortcuts without planning them. And that's why GPS feels useful, but never truly satisfying. GPS gives instructions. Your brain builds understanding. Here's the deeper part most people miss. Memory is built on space. We don't remember events in isolation, we remember where they happened. Places anchor experiences. Movement ties moments together. That's why returning to a location can instantly trigger old memories, why a familiar street feels safe, why a smell combined with a place can unlock emotions you didn't expect. Your brain doesn't just remember facts, it remembers itself moving through the world. But modern life is quietly changing this. When GPS does the navigating, your brain stops mapping. When screens guide every turn, your spatial system goes unused. And like any system that isn't used, it weakens. Not catastrophically, not dramatically, just subtly. So here's the practical part. You don't need special training, you don't need apps or exercises. Just occasionally let your brain do its job. Walk a route without GPS, notice landmarks, take a different path home. Let yourself be slightly lost. You're not wasting time, you're feeding one of the most powerful systems your brain has. Because your brain doesn't just remember places, it remembers who you are through space.